Hi everybody, Jackie Schwab here. This is my very first Facebook Live actually. I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to everybody who has helped the Iriis application be a reality. I, I think that I come from a place where everyone else does as well, even if you don't realize it, where caring for my daughter, and I have 4 children, all my kiddos, and then some of the special things that my autistic child has to work with, specifically around scheduling. And then my mom kind of coming in the picture with her emergency, and my dad and my stepdad being ill. And it turns out that my problem was not a unique problem. So being able to be so amazingly blessed with from the Garcia family has been amazing, and being able to have great partners to help create our product has been godsend. And we really just want to make sure that the caregivers are not invisible and that we are seen as important as we are. So it's some fun statistics that I wrote down. They're actually not fun at all, but to give you an idea of where we are. I remember when I was younger, people would talk about how the homemakers were invisible, and that certainly was true then. And I think that at some level that probably is still true. Homemakers are invisible, or at least the work they do. But now there's another invisible community, and that's the caregiving community. And there are over 43 million unpaid caregivers just in the United States. And that was a figure from AARP in 2015. $470 billion of unpaid care is done within just the U.S. And that means $470 billion of time and effort. And it doesn't just affect you for now either. Everyone who decided not to keep their job and decided to do caregiving is now not going to have that money going into Social Security. They're not going to have that saved up for retirement. They're not going to have that for when they get older. And then on top of that, they're going to have gained and put on some stress backpacks that they get to carry with them for pretty much the rest of their life. So, and this isn't just a female scenario, although 75% of caregivers are female. And so the other thing I found really interesting was almost 50% of caregivers are between the ages of 18 and 49. And when I started this journey, I thought like I was really unique and I was alone and I was the only one frustrated and everyone else had it figured out, and it just was because I was young and I didn't get it. And that all caregivers are in their 60s or 70s, and that's not it. Like, first, most of us are not, right? We're every age, we're every race, we're every nationality. And some nationalities and some races even have more of a struggle in their community. It's very common for African Americans to be caregiving both for their parents and their grandparents as well as their children. And so the amount of stress on that community is even 2 to 3 times the amount of stress in some of the other communities. So caregiving it's not just parenting, which is really weird. It's caregiving. It's a lot of extra work in some cases, especially if you have a special child or your mom and your dad are aging, and the dynamics in a family are so different too, right? It'd be so much different if you were caring for your best friend where you actually like chose them and you like them versus, maybe you're caring for your mom and you guys weren't really buddies, or you guys kind of figured it out. And so a lot of caregivers, and there's terrible statistics on this, but 57% of caregivers literally feel like they have no choice. Like they have to do it. They have to take care of that person. And I understand in the case of loved ones that are kiddos, but wow, can you think of feeling like you're in your 40s and you still have no choice. You have no options. And not necessarily like, oh, you feel guilty, but you feel like there's no support. There's no funding. There's no place that you trust. I'm just feeling like helpless, that you can't do anything. So while our application isn't going to solve all of those problems, it certainly can help with getting people within your care community and your care team together, and hopefully that while you invite them in, they can have some visibility to all the stuff that you're doing. Because the worst thing we do as caregivers, which is the best thing we do, is we're so darn good at our job that nobody realizes we're stressed out, and nobody realizes that help needs to be given because we kicked butt and we do it all. And when we finally lose our ability to get it all done and we blow up and they have no idea we're being crazy, it's too late. So hopefully you can use the app as a conversation starter. Maybe you can use it as a way to talk about what caregiving is going to be like in your family. And the time to have those conversations is now, when they're not sick, when you're not worried about the passing along. It's not when you're stressed later. So maybe you can say, hey, I have this friend Jackie and she made this really cool app. So I want to just, she said all this weird stuff. What do you think? And use whatever excuse you need to get those conversations started earlier so that you are able to plan for taking care of your family. So I hope you guys like this. I'm going to try to do a Facebook Live a little bit more often. And just remember that it's not just parenting. It's not just taking care of mom and dad. It's caregiving. You have another job. You have another role, sometimes even more than a full-time role. And so hopefully you can get some visibility to this. And hi, Susan. Thanks for joining. You'll get some visibility to what's going on with your family. They'll see how much work you're doing and how hard it is. You can have them join your team. And even if it's helping with small things like picking up milk or medications, we all know how much that helps, but hopefully then they'll know how much it helps too. So like, comment, share, look at the app, whatever works, and maybe tell us your caregiving story. And hopefully we can help each other. It takes a village to raise a villager, guys, and hopefully you'll be part of our village now. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.